Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to tell if your ex regrets losing you. Many times this is a question that people have after a breakup. You know, did my relationship mean anything at all? Was the whole thing fake? Do you regret our breakup? Do you miss me? All this sort of stuff. So I wanted to make this video about, like, does your ex regret losing you? So the first way that you can tell if your ex actually regrets losing you is if the two of you actually cared about each other and if you actually had your relationship together, where both of you valued that relationship. I think most people do value their relationship. We're not just here to be in a relationship with someone just to, mess around or something. We want to do it because we actually care about this other person. We care about this relationship. We see some sort of future together. We'll get to that. There's actually something that we're up to here, right? We're not just doing this because we're bored or something like that, hopefully, but we're actually doing this because we actually care about this other person. We actually care about this relationship and all of that. If you can say that about your ex, then they probably do regret losing you. And the reason why is because, we open our heart up to someone else. We open ourselves up to another person, to caring about them, to loving them, to having some sort of empathic connection with them. And then if for whatever reason that relationship doesn't work out for some reason, we have to deal with this sort of sadness of like, okay, like I could see us being together and it didn't work out. I thought that we'd work things through, and I thought this could be like the relationship for the rest of my life. But, for this reason or that reason, it didn't materialize. And so there's a certain sort of mourning that comes with that. There's a certain letdown that comes with it. There's a certain disappointment that comes with it. There's even a certain regret that comes with it as well, too, of that great connection that you had at one point and how it just, went up in smoke for one reason or other. So if you can say that your ex cared about you in the past and if they valued your relationship, then yeah, of course, I think they do regret losing you. The second thing you might want to look out for is that they saw a future together with you, right? So, we can be in relationships and we can have a great time in the present moment. We can care about the other person. If we actually start to see a future, whether that's getting married or starting a family or moving in together or buying a house or moving to some place that's important for both of you or settling down somewhere or, doing something together that involves some kind of future with the two of you, yeah, that's oftentimes something that people feel excited about. That's oftentimes that's something start to identify as. They start to identify as like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna get married. Then I'm gonna be a married person, and this is my married person right here that I'm gonna be married to. If the relationship doesn't work out for some reason, yeah, there's an equal mourning period that comes with that of like, okay, I thought we were going to get married. I thought this was going to be the mother or father of my children. I thought this was going to be the person that we, went and traveled the world with together, or we settled down and we bought a house together or something like that. And if that future starts to crumble away because the relationship didn't work out, then yeah, there's going to be a sense of regret there. There's going to be a sense of sadness. There's going to be a sense of, here's something that I actually was excited about that is going up in smoke. And so, yeah, there's going to be a sense of regret and loss there as well, too. The third thing that you may look for to know if your ex regrets losing you is if you have demonstrated that they would not be walking back into the same relationship that they walked out of in the first place. So relationships fall apart because of some sort of problem. I've talked about this before in other videos, but usually it's the two of you aren't on the same team, the two of you aren't communicating well, or the two of you aren't trusting each other, or some combination of those three. But relationships usually fall apart because of one of those three things, or more of those, or multiple of those three things. But if you can demonstrate that, like, okay, whatever caused the breakup to happen in the first place is no longer an issue. It's been resolved. It's been taken care of. I've worked through my anger issues. I've worked through my feelings of depression. I've gotten my act together and decided to, go for that job that I've been talking about for a while and actually, stop being unemployed or something like that. That can actually show your ex, like, okay, maybe there is something here. Maybe there is something that I regret losing. Maybe I made the choice to leave this relationship or to walk away or to give up too soon. Because, maybe I thought, okay, they're just going to be this unmotivated person. And then, oh, look, now they're going and doing it. Was I wrong about them? Did I misjudge them? Did I act too soon? Or something along those lines. And so if you can demonstrate that whatever caused the breakup in the first place has been resolved in some capacity or other, then, yeah, that's going to show them that that there's more here than meets the eye, and that maybe their judgment of you is a little bit too fast, too soon, and they may actually regret losing you for that reason. And these next couple ones, by the way, these kind of like stack on top of each other. So if you can get more of these going, then yeah, it's definitely going to increase your ex's feeling of regret or remorse or whatever you may want to call it, that they might feel for losing. By the way, if you like these videos, help me out, hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. If you don't like these videos, leave a comment down below and just let me know what sorts of videos you would rather see me make. And maybe we'll think about doing something like that. I don't know, depends. But either way, engage with the channel, subscribe, all that good stuff. And by the way, if you want to get more help, advice, and strategies for your relationship, please also make sure you sign up for our email newsletter over at modernlove.life/newsletter. A lot of times people will say, hey, I need some help with my situation. For whatever reason, I can't afford coaching. I can't afford your programs. And I get it. Many times people are in a tough spot, but we do have a lot of free things out there for you, such as this YouTube channel. Subscribe, all that good stuff. But also our email newsletter, where we also send you tips, advice, and strategies to help you get the kind of relationship that you're looking for as well too. So please make sure you sign up for that over at modernlove.life/newsletter. Okay. But moving on, the fourth sign that your ex may regret losing you is if you are moving forward in your life to become the best version of yourself. Okay. So what's like the main common denominator of like attractive, awesome people that we want to be in relationships with? It's that they're going somewhere. It's that they're doing something. They're not just kind of like coasting in life. They're not just kind of like, okay, here I am, I'm just going to settle in and just chill out. But they're actually trying to do something. I'm not saying you need to like go and become some sort of like super high achiever, doctor, lawyer that somehow does both things at the same time. If that is you and that's what you genuinely want to do, awesome, do it. But, success for different people is going to take different forms. Yeah, for some people it might be a career. For other people it might be, living out some sort of life dream of traveling the world. For other people it might be, starting some sort of charity or some sort of organization or whatever. But whatever success means for you, are you fully embodying that? Are you stepping into it? Are you doing what you can do to become the best version of yourself? That is what I'm really asking you here. Like, are you actually moving forward in your life to become the best person that you can? That's a really important thing that is going to cause your ex to feel that they are, making the wrong choice here, to regret losing you and all of that. Because, nobody wants to just... you hear these stories about someone who like, okay, I was a member of the Beatles and then I quit because it wasn't going anywhere. And then like the next year they went on to become like super famous or something like that. You hear a lot of these stories. Many times people don't want to be that guy that like gave up right before like the thing took off, right? And so when that happens, you might feel a little bit of regret. And so what I want you to do is I want you to live into your values, do the best that you can do to embody your values, and live the best life that you can. And the fifth thing that can help your ex feel regret that they are losing you is if you give them the gift of owning this choice. Okay, and this is one of the strategies we talk about in our course called Effortless Connection. We have this strategy called one-way spikes. And I'll spare you the long explanation of it. We've talked about it in other videos. But basically what you want to do is you want to give them responsibility for the decision by reluctantly going along with whatever it is that they're saying. If they say move on, you should give up, you should move on, and all of that stuff. Don't just be like, okay, great, I'm going to move on, or I'm going to date a million other people, and you're going to miss out, and your life is going to be terrible. Because then, even if they do miss you, they're going to say like, oh, well, they wanted to do that anyway, and they seemed like they were eager about it. So, I mean, whatever, that's what they did. But if instead they know that it was their decision and they're responsible for this decision, then they're going to feel a lot more regret. So if you say something like, hey, if that's really what you want me to do, I can do it. Like I'd obviously be more interested in seeing what we could do here together. But if that's really what you want, we could do that. And then if they say, yeah, sure, go ahead and do it. Then you say, okay, well, just so you know, if I'm dating other people, at some point, You know, I might actually end up with a new boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and they might not like me talking to you anymore. Like, is that okay if that happens? And if they say yes, then like go ahead and keep moving forward. But basically, if it gets to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, move on. It's okay if we don't talk to each other anymore and all that stuff. Then they have the gift of owning that decision, which means that if they change their mind in the future, if they regret their decision, if they say, you know, hey, I miss you or something like that, number one, they feel more empowered to actually change the situation, right? If it's not just like, oh, well, he went off and he dated someone else, or she went off and jumped into a relationship with someone else, but it's more like, hey, I pushed them to do this, then they feel like they can actually change that decision by saying like, oh, hey, like I pushed them to do this, therefore I can actually admit that I'm wrong and you know, get back in contact. But also number two is when they do this, they have to kind of like face this potential of, you know, reaching the end of their life, being that person on their deathbed and saying like, hey, I gave up on this relationship. I didn't give it my all. I let this person slip away. I let things end in this terrible sort of way. Is that how I want to feel about this? And if that's something that they might feel bad about, then it could be enough to motivate them to say, okay, you know what, this isn't how I want to leave things. And so as they start to feel the weight of that consequence of their choice, they may feel motivated to actually take a step forward and to do something to move things in a better direction. But you know, that's one of our strategies that we talk about. Of course, you don't just want to use this out of nowhere. You want to make sure you're using it in the right place. But that's over in our Effortless Connection course. But anyway, yeah, once again, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter, all that good stuff, subscribe. And with that being said, I will talk to you next time.